Hello everyone, my name is Sierra Santi, and with me is my co-pilot Zora, and today we are going to be talking about the Romantic era, or the Romanticism era, in classical music. First we'll talk about the background, the general background of the time, we'll talk about the general music background, and then we will discuss two different songs that I chose to talk about. So, first of all, the Romantic era was kind of around the 19th century, like mid to late, early 20th. And it was really a time where people started to emphasize on emotion and love. They became more imaginative, and they really just started becoming more individualistic. So they were moving away from like reason and order and tradition. And all of that was translated through literature, art, music, and even philosophy and history. Everything started to have kind of a deeper meaning. For an example, this was a time when Edgar Allan Poe was really famous, and we all know his work is very dramatic, very emotion-filled, and that was being translated into a lot of like the history, philosophy, all of that. So to give an idea with music, if you even thought it was possible, they got even more dramatic. They had more freedom into what they did. It was a lot, like, it wasn't like the same as what we would see in the classical or Baroque period. This period was, they had more freedom to express themselves. Like I said, a lot of it was about love and how dramatic and emotion-filled it was. Kind of like a film without words. That's what music was at this time. Some of them did have words, but most of it didn't have words. And it was like you could just feel that emotion. And they started building larger groups of people to make it even more dramatic so that you can actually feel the emotion coming from the ensemble. Now, my two pieces, I wanted to make them both very similar and really emphasize on the romanticism that a lot of the pieces during this time was known for. So my first song is called Violin Concerto by Tchaikovsky. This is his only violin concerto, which means it's the only one he ever made where like a violinist is like front and center solo. And it doesn't seem like it would be romantic, but he actually wrote this on a retreat to Switzerland to kind of help with his depression from his terrible marriage. So he kind of used this to get that anger out. That's why it's really rough, very emotion-filled. And the actual video that I chose shows the soloist playing his piece, and his strings actually break mid-play, and he has to quickly swap out new violin because this piece is so much. It is so dramatic. Even they had critics back then, obviously, and one of the critics, his name was Edward Hanslick. When he heard this piece, he actually wrote that the violin was not being played, but it was being beaten black and blue. So yeah, it was a very rough solo, especially on the violin. Now, my second piece, bear with me, okay? So obviously I did Wingenlied by Brahms, or as everyone else knows it, the Cradle Song, or Lullaby. It is the most famous lullaby of all time. I mean, everyone knows it. Everyone has their own spin on the words. I mean, it's a classic. And this was actually written in 1868. Now, I know you're probably wondering, how is this part of the Romantic era? I learned a thing or two about it that I didn't know, and I feel like you all should know too. So, he wrote it in 1868, but he wrote it as a gift to a friend of his named Bertha Faber. who recently had her second son, so he told her, hey, I'm gonna write this song for your son so you can sing it to him to sleep because you have a beautiful voice. Obviously, you know, that's very nice, very friend-like. However, it turns out that the song was secretly a love song for Bertha. So he's passing this to her husband like, here, this is for your son. When in reality, it's a love song to Bertha. And I just thought that was so crazy. And it gets even crazier. So the song wasn't publicly performed until December 22nd of 1869. And it was performed by a woman named Clara Schumann, who was another flame that Brahms had. So she got up and performed something Brahms made for another woman. If that doesn't scream romanticism, I'm not sure what will. But I really hope you guys learned a little bit and enjoyed my video. Zora says bye. Have a good day.